down at Shea Stadium for your weekend preview, but we're not going to start with the sprint football team. We'll get to them next. We're going to start with the women's soccer team as the Army-Navy Star Series presented by USAA gets started down in Annapolis this weekend. The Black Knights women's soccer team's coming off their first win of the season in a game where they exploded offensively with 3 goals against Hofstra on the road, and the Black Knights are going to look to continue that momentum against Navy in their first Patriot League matchup.
Well, I mean, Army-Navy is a tremendous rivalry, right? So everyone wants to play a game like this. It's a very motivating, but at the same time, we have to take it like we take any game. So we're just really focused and preparing on what we do and on what we do to be our very best. So a couple things. One, we're excited to get into the Patriot League. It's a great league. It's a great league for competitors. So we're really excited about the first game and getting into the Patriot League. That it's Navy, that's, like I said, a great rivalry, and so it's a competitor's game. Obviously, we love playing at home. We have great fans, and they make a difference. But we're a good team on the road, so we're good to get on the road and get down there and compete. It doesn't matter to us. We just want to get into the competition.
The Army West Point Sprint Football team kicks off their 2016 campaign in their Sprint Football Championship defense this Friday night under the lights right here at Shea Stadium against Chestnut Hill. Now, the big key for Mark West's squad is not trying to duplicate what they did last year, but know that this team has its own identity, but is still capable of going 7-0 and winning the Sprint Football Championship.
I believe the team has really come together nicely this year. We've got some solid leadership on both sides of the football. Defensively, a little younger than last year, but they're excited to play. Offensively, we got some good talent returning across the board, so we're excited to get the season started because you're really only as good as your last ball game, and we know it's a whole new season. We know that the bullseye's on our back as defending champions. So our goal this year is just to really put all that behind us and start a new season.
Now, right across the way here from Shea Stadium is Gillis Fieldhouse, where the Army West Point volleyball team will play their second home tournament of the year. It starts Friday night at 5 p.m. when they take on the Huskies of Yukon, and then 2 games on Saturday against Delaware State and against Albany. Now, the Black Knights coming off a big 4-win weekend up at Dartmouth as the Black Knights and Almo Cavacci squad are going to look to duplicate that success, but do it here on their home court.
I think are fearless. We are determined, we're focused. I really like the way this team works together. I wouldn't say we have any stars on the team. It's just a really good team, and they work really hard together. I also thought we're very disciplined. We didn't play particularly well, but finishing all 4 matches with 3 sets was really good focus and determination on that team. So I do like their focus, discipline, and then fearlessness. Right. We're trying to manage our practices really well. So, for example, today we have off of volleyball. They're still lifting, but trying to have some fresh legs for the weekend. There is a goodness in it, too, because they learn how to tough it out. In a way, we don't have a huge team this year, but it's really good. It's actually good lessons when the season starts to be able to not play 4 matches in a row and not have fresh legs in the 4th match you play, and being able to still tough it out mentally and being able to find ways to score where you don't have your max jump. Those are great lessons to learn now before the conference starts. So I think they have learned to not have their best physical shape in that 4th match and still produce, and we're going to need that in the 5th set against some really good teams or as the season progresses. So they've learned quite a bit this preseason.
The nationally ranked Army West Point men's rugby team's off to a good start this season, 2-0 and 1-0 in Rugby East play. That win came last week here at the Anderson Rugby Complex against Iona. The Black Knights didn't have their offense clicking on all cylinders in that game, but Matt Sherman saw a lot of good things out of his defense as they were able to hold Iona to 5 points and scoreless over most of the game after Iona scored in the opening minutes.
I think cornerstone of our play is always the defensive side of the ball, and we're really proud of how we played against Iona. Looking back at it, though, I think we'd like to defend less and play in our half less. I think getting more attacking opportunities starts with playing in their end more, and we spent a lot of time on that this week. We had some struggles last week, particularly with the right options, picking the right option to get out of our half, and then some execution errors as well. And I think we'll see dramatic improvement this week.
There's a bunch of teams in action on the road this weekend for the Black Knights as well, including both cross-country teams. The men and the women will be in Van Cortlandt Park as they look to get more impressive performances out of their freshman class this year. Golf's out in Illinois as they take part in the Fighting Illini Invitational. Men's soccer travels down the road to Brooklyn as they take on the Terriers of St. Francis Brooklyn. They look to make it 2 wins in a row before they start conference play in a week. And the women's rugby team travels to AIC as they look for their second win in conference. That's going to do it for your weekend preview. For Night Vision, I'm Zach Daly.